Hey guys, this is Nathan from the game room, and I'm going to show you how I roll Destruction on my Warlock. Alright, so I'm not going to focus a lot on the spec and glyphs. I'm going to leave my WoW armory in the description. So we're just going to go over the big points for specs and glyphs. This is my spec. Yeah, this is my spec. And glyphs, you're gonna want Glyph of Immolate for the periodic increase of damage for Immolate, of course, and that will also increase your Conflagrate damage because it's 60% of Immolate's periodic damage on the target. And I have Glyph of Chaos Bolt because I think it has too long of a cooldown. And I have the Glyph of Imp because I think that's just a good DPS increase. I mean, there's other things you can pick, like Glyph of Conflagrate is one, or Incinerate, or Shadowburn. Okay, I'm going to show you the rotation for Destruction now. It varies. Some people do it differently, but this way seems to work for me. First, I'm going to show you a macro that I use. It is cast Demon Soul, which you know what that does. Use your trinket, your cooldown trinket, and Soulburn for an instant Soulfire at the beginning of the fight. And you can put that wherever, you know. Just use it before like a boss fight or something. But first, you're going to want to use Soulfire so you can get improved Soulfire up, you know, at the very beginning. And then I cast Immolate, and right after Immolate, I top it off with Corruption, and then Conflagrate, and then a Shadow Bolt, and then I shoot 4 Incinerates so that this can kind of end its cooldown, and you can keep shooting some at the target. And then I use Soulfire again, and then Immolate, Corruption, Conflagrate, and I just rinse and repeat. It's that simple. Okay, now I'm going to talk about priorities and preferences. In my spec, I have a few points which could be used elsewhere if you just really wanted to. Nether Ward changes Shadow Ward into a Nether Ward which absorbs all spell damage instead of just shadow damage. And Nether Protection will protect you. When a spell hits you with Nether Ward up, it will increase your resistance for that spell school for 12 seconds by 30%. And I think that's really useful for boss fights when the boss casts a real big spell, and when it hits you, it won't do as much damage, and you'll get a reduced amount of damage for that spell school. So it gives you a bit more survivability and makes healers happier. Okay, priorities for gear. None of my gear, except for my pants and back, none of my gear is enchanted because I am poor. This one, the only reason these two have enchants on them is because I have tailoring and I enchant them myself. Everything is gemmed though. You should gem everything for intellect if you can. If not, this one has intellect and haste. Intellect and haste, intellect and hit. Intellect is your friend. We like intellect. That's your top priority is intellect, and then you want to probably go to haste or mastery. That's really kind of your choice. That's what I do, especially if you're destruction and demonology, because demonology is good with mastery. But I'll talk about that later. All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about your priorities. Obviously, I said you need intellect, but that's after you get 2 or close to 17% hit, which is the hit cap. So as soon as you hit 17, or if you go over 17, just reforge into haste, and then anything else, if you want to reforge anything else into anything but haste, or go into mastery, because mastery is also good, because that's damage. Yeah. Okay. Here is my rotation. And just so you know, I'm gonna put my rotation into the description. So if you can't follow it here, just look in the description. I'm just gonna show you how much DPS I can do. This is in 381 gear, item level 381. It's not great, but it's not awful. But I'm just gonna pull up recount real quick. Okay. Make sure you have your dark intent up. I would recommend putting it on something that has dots or hots, obviously, because then it'll proc more. And make sure you have fell armor on. I tend to forget to put that on sometimes. And then soul ink's not really important for DPS, but I mean it's just good to have on. Okay, first you're gonna cast. If you're gonna use a cooldown, you would use the macro I showed you, and then you're gonna cast Soulfire, and then Curse of Elements, Immolate, clip it off with Corruption, Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, and then 4 Incinerates, and instant Soulfire right there. Conflagrate, Immolate, and really, when you're going through your rotation, and you come back to the part where you have to recast Immolate, it's really kind of up to you if you want to cast Conflagrate first, like Soulfire and then clip it off the Conflagrate, or recast Immolate and then cast Conflagrate. But yeah, that's kind of up to you. Alright, so right now I'm doing about 17, almost 17k DPS. Normally it's a little bit higher than that. Oh, well, I don't have Bane of Havoc on the target, but, you know, on the other target. That's about it. And then of course when you get in the execute phase, you'll start finding a way to put Shadow Burn in there, because it does quite a bit of damage. Yeah. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, or if you have any other ways that any other suggestions that you would have to, you know, just improve the DPS that much more, go ahead and just leave me a comment.